It's 3 a.m. and you're suddenly awakened by a loud flap, flap, flap. Your dog is violently shaking their head, crying in pain, and scratching at one ear. You lift the ear flap and see red, inflamed skin with dark, foul-smelling debris. Your first instinct is to grab a Q-tip. But stop. That one mistake can push infection deeper into the ear and in some cases injure the eardrum. In this video, I'll explain why dog ears become infected, how to clean them safely without damaging the ear canal, which treatments veterinarians actually recommend, and the warning signs that mean it's time to see your vet. Before we talk about fixing the problem, we need to understand why it keeps coming back in the first place, and it usually starts somewhere you wouldn't expect. Most chronic ear issues actually begin as an underlying allergy, either to food or to environmental things like pollen and grass. When a dog has an allergy, the sensitive skin lining their ear canal becomes inflamed and swollen, and that breakdown in the skin barrier creates the perfect setup for infection. Now think about floppy-eared breeds, Cocker Spaniels, Basset Hounds, Golden Retrievers, Poodles. Their heavy ear flaps trap heat and moisture, turning the canal into a dark, warm environment that's ideal for bacteria and yeast to multiply. That combination, dark, warm, and moist, is exactly what certain yeast and bacteria need to thrive. This is why breeds with heavy hanging ears deal with chronic ear problems so much more often than dogs with upright ears that let air circulate freely. So how do you know what's actually growing in there without a microscope? You use your nose. A healthy, clean dog ear shouldn't smell like much of anything, maybe just warm fur. But when there's a yeast overgrowth from a fungus called Malassezia, it produces a very distinct, pungent smell that's surprisingly easy to recognize once you know what to look for. Flip your dog's ear back and take a sniff. Does it smell like corn chips or musty, yeasty beer? That distinct odor is a reliable, safe way to catch a yeast issue early before it turns into something worse. I also want to correct a common myth. If you see dark, coffee ground-like debris inside your adult dog's ear, that is rarely ear mites, despite what a lot of outdated articles online will tell you. In clinical practice, that appearance is overwhelmingly a yeast and bacterial overgrowth. Ear mites are actually quite rare in adult dogs and are mostly seen in stray puppies or feral cats. Now for the most important warning in this entire video. You've done the sniff test, you see the debris, and your instinct is to grab a Q-tip and clean it out yourself. Please don't. To understand why, picture the internal shape of a dog's ear canal. Unlike human ears, which run fairly straight to the eardrum, a dog's ear canal is L-shaped. It drops straight down vertically, then takes a sharp turn and continues horizontally to the eardrum. Because of that sharp turn, you can never actually see the bottom of the canal from outside. A rigid cotton swab pushed in doesn't scoop debris out. It acts like a plunger, packing infected material deeper down toward the eardrum instead. The deeper that pressure builds, the higher the risk of actually puncturing the eardrum itself, which can cause severe pain, neurological complications, and in some cases, permanent hearing loss. So the golden rule here is simple. Never insert anything rigid into your dog's ear canal. There's a much safer method, and it uses liquid and gravity instead of force. Here's exactly how proper ear cleaning actually works. You apply a liquid cleanser into the ear canal, then gently massage the base of the ear until you hear a soft, wet, squishing sound. That massaging motion works the liquid around the L-shaped bend and loosens debris from the canal walls without you ever needing to insert anything. After massaging, step back and let your dog shake their head. That natural shaking acts like a centrifuge, flinging loosened debris and liquid up and out of the deep canal onto the visible outer ear flap, where it's easy to reach. Once that debris lands on the outer flap, all you need is a soft cotton pad to gently wipe it away. No digging, no inserting anything into the canal, just liquid, massage, and a good head shake. For mild buildup or routine maintenance, like drying ears out after a swim or a bath, a blend of witch hazel and aloe works really well and is easy to find at most pharmacies. Witch hazel is a natural astringent that dries out excess moisture and has mild antibacterial and antifungal properties. Aloe vera soothes irritated skin at the same time, pulling out heat and redness. Apply 5 to 10 drops directly into the base of the ear. Massage until you hear that squishing sound. Let your dog shake, then wipe the flap clean with a cotton pad. Do this twice a day for 5 to 10 days for a mild flare-up. If the yeast is a bit more stubborn, the next option is a green tea and apple cider vinegar rinse. Green tea is a strong natural anti-inflammatory, and apple cider vinegar shifts the pH inside the ear canal. By lowering the pH, you create an environment where yeast and bacteria simply can't survive or multiply. Brew half a cup of strong green tea, let it cool completely, then mix in 2 tablespoons of raw apple cider vinegar. But there's an important safety warning here that a lot of owners overlook before trying this at home. You must check the skin first. If your dog's ear is raw, broken, or bleeding from scratching, do not use this vinegar mixture. It will burn and sting broken skin intensely, causing real pain and potentially making your dog afraid to let you touch their ears again. This remedy is strictly for unbroken, intact skin. If the skin looks healthy, massage 5 drops in, let them shake, and wipe the flap clean. Now my favorite trick for genuinely stubborn yeast infections. You don't always need an expensive prescription. Many veterinary ear medications combine antibiotics, steroids, and antifungals all together, and they can cost $50 to $80 a bottle, which is often overkill if you're just dealing with a surface yeast issue. Instead, look for an over-the-counter clotrimazole 1% topical solution at your local pharmacy, often sold as a generic athlete's foot treatment. It usually costs between $5 and $10 and targets the yeast directly. But here's the critical detail almost everyone gets wrong when trying this hack for the first time. You must buy the liquid solution, never the thick white cream version made for human feet. Thick cream clumps up inside that L-shaped canal and acts like a plug, trapping moisture and heat right where you don't want it. A thin, watery liquid runs smoothly through the canal and coats the infected tissue completely without clogging anything. Apply 4 to 5 drops directly into the canal. Massage the base until you hear the squish. Let your dog shake, then wipe the flap. Do this twice daily for 7 to 10 days. And here's the golden rule: always finish the full course. Even if the itching stops by day 3, microscopic spores are still present, and stopping early lets the yeast come back, often more resistant than before. Everything we've covered today works well for mild buildup, routine maintenance, or an early mild yeast flare-up. But there's a clear line where home care needs to stop completely. If the ear canal looks swollen shut, if it's oozing thick yellow, green, or bloody discharge, or if your dog screams in pain when you touch the side of their head, put the home remedies down and get to a veterinarian immediately. At that point, you're likely dealing with a deep tissue bacterial infection that needs prescription-strength treatment, and only a vet has the tools to check whether the eardrum itself is still intact. If the eardrum has already ruptured and you pour any liquid into that ear, even a gentle natural remedy, it can leak into the inner ear and cause severe pain, permanent hearing loss, and balance problems. Recognizing when a situation is beyond home care doesn't make you a less capable pet parent, it makes you a responsible one who knows exactly where the line is. Managing chronic ear issues can be exhausting, both for your patients and your wallet. But by putting the Q-tips away for good, checking your dog's ears with a quick sniff test regularly, and using safe, affordable remedies like the ones we covered today, you can genuinely change how comfortable your dog feels day to day. Do you have a floppy-eared breed at home? Have you noticed that corn chips smell before? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your experience. 3 simple habits, no Q-tips, regular sniff checks, and the right liquid remedy can break a cycle that's frustrated dog owners for years. Managing chronic ear issues can be genuinely exhausting. It tests your patience, it tests your wallet, and it can feel like you're stuck in an endless cycle. Clean the ears, see improvement, watch the infection creep back a few weeks later. I want you to know that frustration is completely normal, and it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Ear infections, especially in floppy-eared breeds, are simply one of the most persistent issues in veterinary medicine, and even the most attentive owners struggle with them. But here's what I want you to walk away with today. You now have real tools to break that cycle, not guesswork, not outdated advice from a random forum post, but the actual biology of why this keeps happening and what genuinely works. First, throw those Q-tips away for good. I know it feels like the natural instinct when you see gunk in your dog's ear, but remember what we covered. That rigid swab doesn't clean anything. It packs infected debris deeper into an L-shaped canal you can't even see the bottom of, and it puts your dog at real risk of a ruptured eardrum and permanent hearing loss. The liquid and massage method we talked about does the job safely, using your dog's own head shake as the cleaning mechanism instead of force. Second, make the sniff test part of your regular routine, not just something you do when things already look bad. Once a week, flip that ear back and take a quick smell. If it's clean, it should smell like almost nothing. If you catch that corn chip or musty odor early, you can treat a mild yeast flare-up in days with something as simple as a witch hazel and aloe blend, instead of letting it snowball into a painful, expensive mess. And third, know your remedies and know your limits. Witch hazel and aloe for mild buildup. Green tea and apple cider vinegar for more stubborn yeast, but only on healthy, unbroken skin. And that $5 clotrimazole liquid solution from the pharmacy when things are more serious. Always the liquid, never the cream, and always the full course, even after the itching stops. But please remember Chapter 6. If you ever lift that ear flap and see swelling that sealed the canal shut, thick yellow or bloody discharge, or your dog cries out in real pain when you touch the side of their head, all of this home care needs to stop immediately. That's not a moment for natural remedies. That's a moment to get in the car and see your veterinarian, because at that stage, you could be dealing with a ruptured eardrum and pouring anything into that ear. Even something as gentle as green tea can cause permanent damage. Knowing when to step back and ask for professional help isn't a failure as a pet parent. It's actually the smartest, most protective thing you can do for your dog. So tonight, I want you to do one simple thing. Check those ears. Give them a sniff. And if you've been quietly fighting this battle for months, I hope today gave you a real path forward instead of just another expensive guess. I'm Dr. Ethan Lee. Take care of those floppy ears, and I'll see you in the next one.